Hey, welcome back to the channel, and guys, this is Rajoshi, and today we are going to create a poster using only 3 single steps. Step 1, step 2 and step 3. All of the steps are going to be easy, and these steps are going to be fun to do as well. So without any further ado, let's get started. I don't know why I am jumping. I'm just excited about this. Let's get going. So once we are here in this beautiful world of Affinity Photo 2, the first thing we're going to do here is create the palette and the template. So for that we compose this image. So this is the image we are going to work with here today. Take a look. This is a nice bit of image. I took it from Pixabay and it's cool. Or was it pixels? Pixels. Okay, so we are going to compose this image. And once we are done with this composition, the first step starts here right now, and that is by creating 3 different curves. So we press Ctrl or Command M and create a simple juicy S curve to create contrast. Just as that. Next we create a second curve to darken this layer, the dark part of these images. And then we create another curved layer in which we increase the highlights only, not the shadows, just the highlights. So you see, we then create a group of these layers, and let us call this step 1. And we are done. So this was the before, this is the after. Step 1 is nothing, just all about contrast. Next comes step 2, which is all about color grading. So let's get started by adding a gradient map. So just click here and create gradient map. Then in the shadows, add a dark brown color. In the midtones, add a light brown color like this. And in the highlights, add a really light brown color like this. And then change the blending mode to multiply. So this was the before, this is the after. It is too harsh, so we're going to remove it from the extreme shadows. And that was the first part of our second step. The next step is all about color balance. So press once again, open a color balance panel, color balance, and here go to the highlights, add some yellow to the highlights, some magenta, somewhat a little bit of red. Go to the midtones, add a lot of yellow. Go to the shadows and then add some blues and greens. Alright, so this was the second step, and we are going to end this thing as color grading section as step 2. And we are done with step 2. Now comes the final part in which we are going to add some details as well as some minor adjustments. So for that, let us create a curve first. Bump up the exposure, press Ctrl or Command I, zoom in, take the brush with soft round brush, smaller, white as a foreground color, just dab on her eyes, just dab. This gives that eyes the necessary details, just like before and after, before and after. We want to add some details and gains, and for that we are going to add this by using unsharp mask. So increase the radius, increase the factor to get in more details. And we are done. Now the last step, which is about adding a halation or adding a glow. So for that we press Gaussian blur layer above everything else, increase the value, preserve the alpha, and then change the blending mode to lighten or multiply or screen. I am choosing screen for this case, and then remove it from the extreme shadows. Then invert it, press B to choose the brush, increase the size, white as a foreground color, just paint over her face. That's it. Just paint over face and around, not far away from the center of the image. And we have this beautiful glow in her face right now. And we are done as I promised you. So just let us just rename this thing as step 3. And we are done. Step 1, 2 and 3. So this was the before. I'll show you. This was the before. And this is the after. Before and after. Once we are done with this thing, the last thing we can do here is add a text to add some dramatic effect. So let's just add a text. let us name this thing hope, and I like this big round Arial font here. Solely upon you. So we are done with editing this image, and I hope we enjoyed. So we created something like this into something like that using just 3 steps. I hope we enjoyed the session. So we'll meet soon in the next video. Until then, take care, adios and goodbye. In Hindi we call it alvida.